Today we are making confetti meatloaf.
The ingredients you'll need for this recipe are Dijon mustard, tomato puree, celery, carrots, a jalapeno, 2 eggs, Worcestershire sauce, a bell pepper of your choice, red onion, 2 pounds of ground meat, almond flour, and coconut flour.
Normally, meatloaf is loaded with things like breadcrumbs and fillers. Some people I know even use oatmeal. My meatloaf replaces the breadcrumbs and the fillers with a bunch of colorful vegetables and a little bit of coconut and almond flour, hence confetti meatloaf. Original, I know. It kind of looks like a confetti cake, but it's meat. Alright, so we're going to start with our veggies. We have to cook our veggies on medium heat, so I'm going to start by heating my pan. Then we're going to take 2 small carrots or 1 large carrot and roughly chop those. I'm using my food processor because you need a really fine dice on these vegetables. If you don't have a food processor, you can chop them by hand. I'm going to roughly chop 2 stalks of celery, 1/4 of a red onion, 1 bell pepper of your choice, red, yellow, green, orange, doesn't really matter. Chop that and it goes right in. And then for a little bit of heat, we are going to use a jalapeno pepper. If you mind spice and it bothers you, scrape out the seeds. If you like a little spice, leave them in. Roughly chop that guy and throw it in with the rest of the vegetables. See our beautiful rainbow we got going on here at Veggies. Throw the lid on and just let that run until everything's really finely chopped. Put oil of your choice into your pan. I am using some coconut oil. Once you've melted your oil, take your vegetables and pop them into your pan. We're just gonna let these cook until they dry out a little bit, all their juices kind of evaporate. Otherwise, we're going to have a super gloppy meatloaf, and no one wants that. Probably about 10 minutes. In the meantime, you can take your 2 pounds of whatever meat you're gonna use. Normally for this dish, I like to use grass-fed beef. It adds a lot more fat, it adds a lot more flavor, but I had ground turkey on hand, so ground turkey it is. Also, turkey is fowl. This must have been a conservative turkey because it had 2 right wings. To our turkey, we are going to add a teaspoon of ground pepper, 2 tablespoons each of coconut and almond flour, and 2 eggs. With clean, ringless hands, go in there and mix all that up really, really well. Make sure you're giving your veggies a stir every couple of minutes. Set your meat mixture aside. And while our veggies are finished cooking, we're going to make our topping. Typically, a meatloaf is topped with ketchup and brown sugar, but if you eat ketchup, you will fall behind. So in place of ketchup, I'm just using an organic tomato puree. We just need about a 1/2 cup of this. And then we're going to add about a teaspoon of Worcestershire and a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. And just mix that all together and set it aside. So once our vegetables have cooked, there's not any excess liquid. It's been about 10 minutes. I'm gonna turn off the heat and add about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce to the pan and stir that in. And then at this point, if you want to add any herbs, I know a lot of people like Italian herbs in their meatloaf. You can go ahead. I'm just trying to keep this nice and simple. And to be honest, it really doesn't need it. It's so good on its own. Before adding the vegetables to the meat, we really have to let them cool because there is egg in our meat mixture. And if we add the hot veggies, it'll cook the egg prematurely and we don't want that. So let this cool down for about 10 minutes. Make sure your oven is preheated to 350 degrees. So once all of your veggies have cooled, you can go ahead and add them to your meat and mix those together. So once those are mixed, you want to grab a pretty good sized baking dish and spray it with non-stick cooking spray or wipe it with a little bit of oil. We are going to form our meat into a loaf. Dump all that into your baking dish. And really the best way to do this is just with your hands. Once you have formed your loaf, take your sauce that you set aside and spoon it over the top. Then just spread it over your whole loaf. And then this goes into a 350 degree oven for 1 hour. After 1 hour, please do check this with a meat thermometer, especially if you're cooking with ground turkey. All right guys, after an hour in a 350 degree oven, my kitchen smells like heaven. To quote the wonderful Rachel Ray, I wish we had smell-o-vision because man, does this smell good. I'm gonna cut a little piece off to show you the inside. It's delicious. Really, really good. It has a really nice bite from the jalapeno, spicy. And then it's like sweetness from the carrots and the pepper. I think you guys will love it. Well, that's all she wrote, guys. That's actually all I wrote because I wrote this recipe. I hope you guys make this meatloaf. It's fantastic. Share it with friends, share it with family. You won't be disappointed. Also, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and Twitter and tweet me pictures of anything that you make of mine. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more recipes. If you are one that already has subscribed, thank you, thank you. You are awesome. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. Really? Do I have lipstick on my teeth? Not cute. Ma, the meatloaf! If you know what that's from, then go you. This meatloaf replaces the breadcrumbs and the fillers with a bunch of